To this computer. Okay, welcome once again to another um, episode of the Kandy Fontaine show. And my name is Alex S. Johnson, aka Kandy Fontaine. And our previous guests include Valar Khan from Death Rock Legends, Christian Death, Peaches Christ, the iconic, queer director, musician. What doesn't Peaches do, right? We've had so many incredible guests, and I'm really, really thrilled today because we have none other than Nina Hartley, sex positive, feminist pioneer, adult film industry icon, the legend. That's an Olivia behind her. That's several Olivias actually. When Olivia, you know, draws you, you know that you've achieved something memorable and historical. Um, I would just want to add because before we just get started with this, as what I do is I'm a author, editor, publisher, and journalist. And this is my last book that I put out called Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, a literary tribute to
Oh,
revenge.
how fun.
And that is my dear friend and collaborator, Nicole H. on the cover, SIXX. And yeah, that is her, rock star lineage. We have, such iconic names as Caitlin R. Kiernan, Poppy Z. Bright, Jan Steckel, Maxime Jakubowski, John Shirley, the guy who wrote the film The Crow, just legends and icons, and I'm really, really thrilled. And this is Adrian Baldwin's work. He's an illustrator, graphic designer, award-winning novelist, and a screenwriter for the BBC in England. And this is Nicole,
Hmm.
who's also an actress. She's been in films by, James Wan, and just incredibly gifted, talented, polymath, as are you. So I'm just really, really excited because everything, like we were talking about some of our mutual friends like Norma Jean Almodovar, and do you know Sarah Firefox Allen?
Yes, she's amazing. I
Yes,
wrote the intro for her book Sexy Witch.
that's right. Oh my God. And I
She's just
just
an amazing she's an amazing human. I vibed with her instantly when I met her the first time
right,
when
yeah.
she was in her probably 10 iterations ago, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Just a beautiful human being. And I'm so very proud that they included my blurb of in genderqueer menopause. I actually blurbed that book, and it's in alongside another one of my authors, Lyric Lark Rivera, aka Neurodivergent Rebel. So I'm just like really, really thrilled. Some of our other authors include Jarbo from Swans and David J. Haskins, the guy who wrote Bela Lugosi's Dead. So, we have for a press that doesn't have any distribution or any advertising, we have, I guess, peer recognition, which is,
That's pretty amazing.
you know what I mean?
That's devoutly to be desired.
Exactly. And you just quoted Shakespeare. So is a tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, right? Yeah, with a bare bodkin, or in Juliet and Romeo and Juliet, the final line by Juliet is actually a pun on fucking, right? Because the unsheathed dagger,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Finding its sheath is yeah, that's fucking. So, you know, and I believe in using the words, as does my guest here, Nina Hartley. Where do I even begin? So I put something together. So I'm just
Good,
gonna
thank you. Because I can never sum myself up. So
right,
please
yeah,
have at it.
have at it. Have at it. Yeah, um just one second here. So yeah, I'm not like a technological whiz kid, but okay, so this is this is drawn from your wiki page, and so if there's
Oh,
anything that's inaccurate, you can just let me know, and I won't be
sure.
offended or say, no, wiki is always right. I mean, um, okay, so Nina Hartley is born Marie Louise Hartman in 1959. Is a legendary adult film performer. And when say legendary, I mean, if you've ever heard of films like Boogie Nights, yeah. Adult film performer, sex educator, outspoken feminist whose career spans over 4 decades. By 2017, she had appeared in more than 1,000 films. Yay! Making her one of the most prolific and recognizable figures in the industry. Raised in Berkeley by yay, Berkeley, or Berserkly, as
Open
me,
ward.
right, open ward, right, by politically active parents. Her mother, a biochemist, and her father, a blacklisted radio announcer. And I really want to talk about that as well. Hartley grew up identifying as a feminist and later earned a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, graduating magna cum laude in 1985. She entered adult entertainment in 1984 with Educating Nina, hello, and quickly became known for articulate advocacy of sexual freedom, sex-positive feminism, and performer rights. She has produced influential instructional videos, including, I believe, something on how to
40.
have
I have 40, I have 40
40.
instructional, yeah.
And I want to talk about the swinger, how to do a swinger party correctly. That one, I thought that was really interesting. Appearing in mainstream films like Boogie Nights and lectured at universities including Dartmouth, Harvard, and UC campuses. Hartley is also a writer, activist, and longtime board member of the Woodhull Freedom Foundation, continuing to champion sex education, performer labor rights, and sexual autonomy. So, welcome to the show,
Thank you.
Nina
I never
Hartley.
spoke at Harvard. That I did do Dartmouth. I did UCLA. I've done other.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
Dartmouth. So Harvard. The wiki. Take that down. I did
okay.
not. I've not
Fair
spoken at
enough.
Harvard.
But
I'd
yeah.
love to, but no.
Okay. Well, Harvard, are you listening? I have this is really, really fucking cool because I have two books that are actually archived at Harvard's Widner Library. And the reason I think that they chose them is one of the stories is in this book called The Doom Hippies. It's called Vam Pussy. And it's about a genetically engineered vampire pussy. So very, very proud. I think that it really appealed, for some reason, because I thought initially it was like it's Harvard. What would they want with the likes of me, right? I write, smut, and they were like, yeah, they were all over it. So it's really, really cool. So maybe I could talk to I don't really know any. I know the senior cataloger
Right.
but I don't know anybody at Harvard other than that. So sexual autonomy. This is really, really interesting concept because I mean it's like, and it immediately makes me think of, well, consensual, kink culture and how important consent is, and how we were just talking about some people who abuse scenes and play to because they're assholes, basically. So, and not in the good way, right? So, what? Um, or as Burroughs has this great line, a greased and nameless asshole. So, what is your definition of sexual autonomy?
I think it's pretty straightforward. It's being
Okay.
able and supported and making decisions about what happens to your own body, with whom
Yeah.
you might share it, what you do with it, what you do with other. So, do I have the right to my own body or not? And that, of course,
Right.
includes birth control. I believe that the person. I do believe in physician-assisted self-delivery if that is
Hmm.
what a person wishes. Um, and it also goes into teaching medically accurate and age appropriate sexual information starting from very young age, using
Right.
body names, allowing children to refuse affection and not force them to hug Aunt so and so.
Right. Yeah.
And so autonomy is something that is um, tenuous in our culture currently, right?
Right. Yeah. Very much
The
so.
rollbacks for women's physical autonomy is quite severe and far-reaching, and already having consequences in increased deaths, maternal death, increased infant deaths, and permanent disability through botched uh, obstetrical emergencies, that kind
Hmm.
of thing.
Right.
So it is very real, and it is very dystopian in my view. And I never understood that because I'm an atheist, right? So I get that your religion tells you not to do these things, but how does your religion give you the right to tell me not to do those things?
Right.
And I'm not the only one who thinks this way. Lots of other people are more, more passionate about it than I do. But I
Yeah.
do think the imposition of religious ideology system wide, regardless of how other people um, believe or feel, is, a huge a huge demerit for the
Yeah.
culture, for lack of a better word. So autonomy basically, do I have the right and the support to do with my body what I wish
Yeah.
without harming others?
Yeah.
So consent is part of that. So yes, do I have the right to beat your ass? Yes, but do I have the right to do it in front of people who didn't agree to be there? No, I don't.
No. Right.
Right? Do I have the right to lead you around on a collar and a leash? Yes, I do. Do I have the right to do that in public? No, I don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't, because that isn't, I cannot involve other people in my scene who did not
Right.
agree to be part of the scene. So
Yeah.
it is, I'm really super clear on that. Within consent boundaries, I'm down for pretty much anything except permanent, obviously, death and
Right.
permanent injury and right and
Right.
disability. So
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think I can give you consent. I cannot consent for you to kill me. I cannot
Yeah.
consent for you to kill me and eat me. That's a no.
Right. That's a hard
Right.
line.
That's a hard line.
Yeah.
And as a Dom, I can refuse to do an action a submissive partner is wishing for me. I do not do neck compressions.
Right.
I do not do, it's not choking. External pressure applied to the throat is strangulation.
Right.
Strangulation is by nature super duper violent.
Yeah.
And within BDSM, I'm all about controlled and targeted sexualized consensual violence.
Right.
Canings and beatings, and I mean I like impact play. I like punching and kicking and all the things, and I can
Right.
be on
Yeah.
either side of that. I have been on either side of those and
Yeah.
enjoy them very much within the context of consent and the whole thing.
Exactly.
But as a Dom, I get to not do things.
Right.
And if the sub begs and begs, like, you can hold your own breath. I am
Yeah.
not restricting your airway.
Yes.
Full stop.
Yes.
I
That's
don't do that.
yeah.
And because, all you have to do is have one dead person, it's usually
Right.
female. It's like, well, she said yes. It's like, you have the right to remain silent. Please put your hands
Yes,
behind your back.
exactly.
We're going down to the station and you're in a
Right.
fuck
Yeah.
ton of trouble, dude. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not a thing. So autonomy is just basically, do I have the right to, eat what I want, fuck who I want, get
Yeah.
birth control, terminate a pregnancy, carry a pregnancy, the basics.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's also, I mean, there's so many so much is sort of historical kind of terrifying historical kind of uh, resonance, now, and especially as somebody of Jewish heritage, obviously this is and somebody who's dad was part of, blacklisted by the in the during the McCarthy era. Could you talk about
He was
that?
he's one of the last ones. It happened 2 years before I was born.
Yeah.
So all this comes down through lore. But he was a very popular radio announcer in San Francisco. He had, I think it was a daily show called This is San Francisco. He was like the
Hmm.
radio version of Herb Caen.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if they knew each other, but they probably did because, certain media circles. And he was quite
Hmm.
popular, and he had a lot of perks. They got to go to, so it was good. It was good to be him, right?
Right. Yeah.
Um, and they left the party in 57 when Russia invaded Hungary. But
Hmm.
they had been members. My mother was her father was a civil rights activist in the 30s in Alabama, and
Oh wow.
you can imagine how that went because he was also
Yeah.
Jewish. So he's featured in two of the major civil rights histories. He is a few sentences in "Carry Me Home"
Wow.
and "Hammer and Hoe."
Oh
He is
wow.
He was beaten up by goons and left for dead in a field. One of the goons turned out to be a very young Bull Connor.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
Back in the day when Bull Connor was just a goon without a badge.
A
So,
goon without a badge. Yeah,
so
that would make a
I grew up in the
great
aftermath of
title.
the destruction.
Yeah.
So after the fall of my father from his gainfully paid employment, he never got decent employment after that. He would get a job, and then in a week or two, some guys in suits
Right.
would show up, and he would get fired. And that so when I grew up, he was a short order cook at a local small cafe, and then he was a stay-at-home husband,
Hmm.
stay-at-home father, well before it was popular. So you can
Right.
imagine
Yeah.
what that does to a person's sense of himself as a man, right?
Yeah, sure.
And so I grew up with a house dad and a mom who worked full time.
Wow.
This is in this. So I was born in 59. So yeah,
Hmm.
all through the 60s he was at home mainly. And
Yeah.
then
That's
in 1969
incredible.
they discovered Zen Buddhism, and by 1973
Yeah.
they were full-time Zen students and spent from 1973 until their deaths. And Dad died in 2006. No,
Hmm.
he died. Hang on, he would have been. He died in 2005 and mom in 2000. Hang on, it's been 10 years, 2016. Goodness gracious.
Wow.
Um, uh, so they lived very long lives, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they regretted the political thing, but it certainly put a monkey wrench in. So I don't remember before because there was no before. I was born in the after, right?
Yeah.
Of that. And so my dad was depressed a lot, and my mom was angry and resentful and working a lot because divorce
Yeah.
wasn't an option. And but they still believed in political activism, and so I went on plenty of anti-war marches and civil rights marches in a stroller. So I did grow up knowing about social injustice.
Yeah.
I never personally felt anti-Semitism. Berkeley was not an anti-Semitic place. So I know about it. I have never personally encountered it. Plus, I've always passed as Gentile um,
Hmm.
because I don't look Jewish. So people have said things in front of me that are like, wow, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What? So
Yeah.
um, I was not raised in a religious household. We did a little Passover, we did a little Christmas, but it was no religious training whatsoever, no
Yeah.
church, no temple, no religious instruction at all. So anything I know about religion, I gleaned from the culture and from the books around the house. Uh,
Hmm.
but from age 8, I just realized it was all a story. It wasn't real. So
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
believed. I do believe that man created God, not the other way around. Because
Yeah.
every culture has gods that look just like them.
Right. Yeah. Hmm. Interesting. Yeah.
So
And
why is our God in the West the God and everybody else are heathens and pagans, right? Versus
hello. Yeah.
so the egocentrism of Judeo-Christianity has always astonished me, the arrogance of it.
Yeah.
That, this is the one true way and everybody else is damned. And the whole us versus them, the whole thing around religion and culture uh,
Yeah.
to isolate and to otherize people to make it okay to take their stuff and take their lives and take them,
Basically.
turn them into property and all the horrible things that have been done,
Yeah.
with religion. So I'm not a fan.
Right. Needless to say, right? Yeah. Yeah. Actually, to like, speaking of like, Jewish, Judaism, or I mean, not like cultural Judaism as opposed to, religion. I have many, many very, very close, Jewish friends, and they're, very like the poet Ellen Mabey is one of my best friends, and we we've done so many shows with Ellen. She's really excited about, having you on, my having you on the show. Emily Frank, and John Steckelway mentioned. So it's just really for me, it's just sort of like I always saw Judaism as more the um, in terms of justice, justice movements, and the whole tradition that goes back to to Psalms and the prophets and the voice crying out in the wilderness and the the connection with the with as you mentioned with the civil rights movement, right? So
I have a cat doing a bad thing. I'll be back in 10 seconds.
no worries.
Oh, yeah, see, no, out of there, get out. Come on. Nope, 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 nope. What is your issue? Thank you. Ugh, pardon me, sir.
No worries.
Pardon me. There is a cabinet that does not quite close, and the
Oh,
cat
yeah.
goes, "Oh, I want in there. I want sleepies in there."
Yeah,
Like, no, you
yeah.
may not sleep in there. Anyway,
So
please, you were
yeah,
saying.
yeah. Well, my MacBook Pro, whatever you call it, it's got it's and the Zoom technology somehow manage to like direct this pan glide. When you left the frame, it
Mhm.
did a pan glide over your iconic Olivia posters. And so it looks like I designed it. It was look like this badass Quentin
It's very
Tarantino
spooky.
shit,
It's a very
right?
spooky technology, actually. I
Yeah,
find it like odd because I'm used
yeah,
to, I'm old, I'm a full boomer, so technology is still a bit,
right,
I'm mid technologically um
yeah,
okay. And so
right.
I'm just used to being able, I have to do this, but the fact that it does it on its own, it's like, how's it,
How does it know? How does it know shit,
how does it
right?
know? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, you were saying you're having you were talking about your friend who is about talking about the social justice aspect of
Yeah,
Judaism. That's what I grew up with.
exactly.
I have
Yeah, yeah.
several family members who are Orthodox and
Mhm.
keep kosher and all the things. Um, but we don't talk politics much because I don't want to
Mhm.
get into Israel.
Right, yeah.
Uh, it's just layered in nuance is all I can say. So
Yeah, right.
we don't talk politics
Yeah,
when
exactly.
we meet
Yeah,
up with
exactly.
those family members.
I mean, I have friends that I just kind of like I have to, including a Jewish woman named Ivy Nay. I mean, Ivy Nay. I'm not sure if you know her, but the musician and photographer and actress, and and she's like photographed Bowie and Iggy
Oh,
Pop
wow.
and it's really really cool, but we don't necessarily agree about Russia, you know, and I decide to agree to disagree with that. So I'm gonna take a screenshot because this is so badass, you know. Um, yeah, wow. Nina Hartley and Neon, Olivia, Nina Hartley, and literal Nina. Oh my God, this is so cool. So, you graduated from San Francisco State magna cum laude, which is with a degree in nursing, and then
Mhm.
you were a nurse for a while, or
No, I have never earned a
you
paycheck
did
as a
not?
nurse.
So that information is false. So Wiki, you suck, man.
Right.
But
I did get the BSN. It was magna cum laude. It was
right,
1985, and I did get my license. And
yeah,
then I have never earned a paycheck as a nurse, and I would have to go back to school probably for a year if I was going to try to be a nurse now, because a lot has changed
yeah, right.
in the 40 years
Wow.
since I got out of college.
Hello.
What the
Yeah,
fuck? Oh my God!
right.
It seems when you don't have children, for me, it seems like a long weekend. It
Yeah.
seems like just yesterday I was in school when no, it's been mathematically, it's been 40, this year will be 41 years since I graduated, which is like, how can that be?
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
How can that be? But it is. It just so not having kids really just um, keeps you, uh, not having kids keeps you, don't go up there. There's somebody up there already. You need to go here. You need to go here, big boy. There you go. I have cat
So,
beds in my room, and so he has to go there, and she has to go there, and just like
yeah.
they don't sleep together. The cats are not that friendly.
My partner has a cat named Zaku Salem. Shout out to Pickles.
Hello,
Yeah.
Pickles.
And see, oh my God, she's going to be so thrilled. Yeah, shout out to Pickles. Wow, I
We
call
love
her.
pickles.
I love Pickles so much. Pickles, you're my heart, and we got literal Nina Hartley here.
There
So,
we go. Okay, there we go.
oh
That's
my God,
better. All right.
fabulous, fabulous, fabulous.
There we
So,
go. Okay,
so
stay here. Just stay here, camera.
um,
Um,
now, many people have alternate careers. Norma Jean Motivar, for example, as is quite famous, mutual friend of ours, went from being a LAPD officer to being a hooker because she thought that actually being a hooker was, in that context was actually, less hypocritical and more ethical.
yeah.
And you went from getting a degree in the healing profession to being a porn star.
Oh, they're
Now,
quite overlapped. So
so
I
yeah,
went
let's
into
talk
nursing.
about
I
that.
went into nursing school to be my first intention was to be a nurse midwife. So I came into my
Right.
feminism through the natural birth movement and recognizing that the birth industry in this country is deeply flawed, um,
Hmm.
and um, and it actually has not, pardon me, it has not gotten a lot better for industrialized countries. America has a dismal maternal death rate and infant death rate compared to other so-called industrialized countries because we don't have good prenatal care, we don't have universal health, we don't have universal maternal leave, so we have a dismal system. It's designed to break people, and it breaks people all the time. And we wonder why the birth rate's falling.
Mm.
But even before that,
But that this is not to, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that, and that has actually been used as a tool for the loathsome, greased and nameless assholes of the far right who with their replacement theory,
we're not going to get it.
hello, we're
It's
not going to get into that
no,
at all.
they're just horrible people.
They're just horrible.
They're
Yes.
dangerous. If they weren't so
So,
dangerous, they would be. What young people don't know is that up until Ronald Reagan, the religious right stayed away from politics because it was earthly and worldly, and it was. Oh my gosh, Falwell and Reagan who realized, oh, there's a whole sleeping giant here. And so 45 years later, here we are with the Christian
yeah,
nationalists really working the agenda and the Project 2025 really working the agenda. What we do
yeah.
have on our side, though, is increasingly numbers of under 40-year-old ex-evangelicals.
Hmm.
So young people who were raised in that system who realized, oh, hell no, oh, hell to the fuck no,
Right.
and are speaking out against it. Uh,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to make prognostications because I am not a good prognosticator.
Okay.
So way
That's
back in
fine.
the Wayback Machine, one of the things my parents did before they found Zen was, among many other 1960s therapeutic modalities, they stumbled upon Reichian therapy,
Hmm.
Wilhelm Reich, and he was hounded into insanity by, well, first the Nazis destroyed his work in Germany, and he came over here. And then the Americans destroyed his mind because we are, if nothing, reliably anti-pleasure and anti-body. But he came up with the concept of body armor. And I was very young when I read the term. It's like, oh, I have that. I,
Yeah.
I'm so glad I had a label for it. And the connection, and so I wanted to help women have a better birth experience, right? So
Yeah.
definitely natural birth. I'm not going to say home birth, but certainly natural birth, right? I just
Right.
supporting and helping her with information and all the things. And there's we have a lot. We know a lot now. So
Yeah.
the birth support system, when it is allowed to work, is quite good.
Hmm.
We've put more money into doulas and midwives, but that's another rant for another day.
Right.
I just saw early on the turns out sex and babies are related.
Hmm. Who'd
And we
have
have a lot.
thunk?
We have sex a lot more than we have babies. So
Yeah. Hmm.
the
Interesting.
so the body and as the locus for oppression and repression and pain and suffering is something that really resonates with me because the mind takes us forward and back. The mind gives us all kinds of problems. The body is stuck forever in the present moment. It cannot leave the present moment. So
Fascinating.
when our minds take us places, our minds make our bodies suffer because we worry about what's happening in the future, and we grieve and are angry about what happened in the past. And those are all
Yeah.
things we feel in the body. Worry, we feel in the body. Anger, we feel in
Yeah.
the body. Grief, we feel in the body. Rage, we feel in the body. And it can only be resolved in the body. So the in the 60s and 70s, the beginning of a lot of, primal scream therapy,
Yeah.
rebirthing. So I'm if I wasn't Nina, if I wasn't so exhibitionistic as, cameras, that's a great idea. If I was a civilian person, I would have been in some kind of, if I had not gone on to become a nurse midwife, which was my original intention,
Yeah.
I'd be some kind of somatic therapist, some kind of body-based, somatic modality that I would have been doing for the last 40 plus years instead of porn. Turns out that working with bodies in a controlled environment was perfect for me, because I so sex is we can sit in therapy for years and talk ourselves into a corner and not
Right.
have anything change. And we can do body movement based therapy, which helps
Yeah.
unlock stuff, right?
Yeah. Right.
And that's well documented. And sex energy is just hypercharging the other physical modalities,
Hmm.
because when we take a person who's been conditioned by our system and we help them realign their relationship to pleasure, as we
Yeah.
get this person to be okay with feeling pleasure in their body alone in a
Right.
room. No one's hurting anybody. You're not
Right.
including anybody. It's just you, buddy, and
Yeah.
yourself. Then all your demons show up, because the requirement in our culture for people to abandon themselves or to fit into the culture is so great, and it's instilled at such a young age. When we sit alone in a room with our hand, which happens to be long enough to hit our genitals,
Right. Yeah. Hmm.
and
Which,
we are
which, which,
we
which seem specifically, I mean, there's certain, aspects of our genitalia which are only for pleasure. There's no other functional.
Well, hence the clitoris. So that's another side thing. It's like whether you believe
Yeah.
in evolution or God, clearly female sexual response was sort of important because we have an organ that just does that.
Right.
So the male organ is for pleasure, procreation, and elimination, and women
Yeah.
have three separate places for that.
Nice.
We have a reproduction organ, we have an elimination organ, and we have a pleasure organ. I find that fascinating. Again, so since I'm an evolutionist, clearly female sexual pleasure, human sexual pleasure was super important for early humans, because pleasure is a great way to bond, great way to create cohesion and or group bonding, right?
Yeah.
Because I think monogamy is a more recent invention, and certainly the use of women as property is about what, 10,000 years old, and
Hmm.
humans are close to 500,000 years old, I think.
Right.
I think the math is somewhere around there,
Yeah.
300,000 for it. I have to look it up. Anyway, so we've been human for a
Yeah.
lot longer than we've been monogamous and women as property and women, children
Yeah.
as property beings.
Right.
So the pleasure is an altered state of consciousness. Pleasure connects us to, allows us to astral travel. Pleasure connects us to the divine. It connects us to, all that is. And sex brings forth new life, so it is important. So the cultures that every culture polices sexual expression for its own reasons, towards its own ends.
Yeah.
And so when we deliberately push back on that and go, I'm going to figure out what my relationship to pleasure is here alone in my room, not involving anybody else, not hurting anybody else. And
Right.
everything, all of our traumas, all of our teachings, all of the lessons are going to come up and make us turn away. It's going to feel danger, warning, scary, bad, all the things,
Yeah.
anything to scare you away from becoming whole with yourself, because we are fractured. We have been split into two. There is the body, and then there is the spirit, and
Yeah.
we've been told they're opposite things, but the body houses the spirit, and
Right.
the spirit so when I am in the spirit, when I am feeling connected to God, source, universe,
Yeah.
creation, whatever, give it a name. Um,
Right.
the sensation I feel in my body. But if I'm alienated from my body, I cannot feel pleasure. I cannot feel joy. I cannot feel connection. I cannot feel hopeful. All I can do is feel lonely, unworthy, disgusting and isolated from other people because I have been, all of us, each of us in a different way, have been evicted from our own self.
Right. That's beautifully put.
And it makes us seek outside of ourselves for the
Yeah.
next thing, the next substance, the next behavior, the next acquisition, all the things when we see that in the culture, the consumer culture, because we are not able to be okay with ourselves in a room because we don't like being in our body because being in our bodies isn't safe. It isn't fun. It isn't calming. It isn't restful. It is terrifying and nervous making and anxious making. So we can't be here. And so we have 8 billion people, each of whom is locked inside a haunted house with no way out. And we're told that's normal. And buy this and take this pill and do this thing,
Right.
and
Yeah.
do these 12 steps and follow this God and you'll be okay.
Yeah.
When we were born to be okay and we were deliberately made not okay. And,
Right.
I'm talking about just regular child rearing. I'm not even talking about added levels of abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, religious abuse, sexual
Right.
abuse. Talk about your regular kid who wasn't spanked. It's just we still
Right.
alienate children because
Right.
the emotions of the child trigger the emotions in the adults instead of going, wow, thank you for being a valuable mirror to my past. I'm
Yeah.
uncomfortable. You must stop. I
Right.
do see this changing in millennial parents. I watched, unfortunately, too much on too much content, but
Yeah.
I do see parents under 40 really trying very hard to break that cycle and to be more present parents and to not do to their kids what was done to them.
Yeah.
And that's so for every person of the religious of the Christian fundamentalists who say, of course I beat my kids and they come and thank me for their correction afterwards. It's just sick shit. Um,
Right. Yeah.
I
Thank you, sir. May have another,
yeah,
right?
not good, not okay when you're six. I'm just saying that's just
Exactly.
yeah
Yeah.
shit. That's just some vile child abuse. So sex
Right.
is a way. So nursing
Yeah.
was
Yeah. Yeah.
so all that. So why nursing? Of all the things I could have done in school to prepare
Yeah.
me
Hmm.
for my job, nursing was the best thing because what nursing does is the body has no morality. The body needs what it needs. So I have a person in front of me, they can't speak. They're in distress.
Right.
I have to be able to put my hands on them and feel what's needed,
Yeah.
right? Where do they tense up? Where do they relax? Where, right?
Yeah.
And the body can tell if the entity touching it is seeing it or just a piece of meat.
Yeah.
The body can always tell the intention of the toucher. It the body can always tell if it feels safe with the sensation being applied to it or it is not safe. Um, and so so behind the noise of the conditioning, there's a signal, the signal of safe,
Hmm.
not safe,
Right.
friendly, not friendly. And that just ripples outward. So when a body that doesn't like itself very much is witnessed and touched by an entity that finds it delightful or is not scared by it,
Hmm.
it's revelatory. It just blows all
Yeah.
the circuits because it it is it's like water in the it's like water in the desert and it burns like fire. The
Hmm.
intensity because in that moment, oh my
Mm.
gosh, this is amazing. Oh fuck what? I never have had this.
Yeah.
So on the one moment you are feeling the relief of somebody saying, "Hi, hi,
Right.
I like you. It's so good to
Yeah.
see you." And on the other hand, it's this huge upwelling of grief. I've never had this. It's taken me
Yeah.
this long to find this. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So once a person opens the door to that possibility, all the repressed stuff, of course, comes rushing out that tiny opening and
Yeah.
floods everything, which is why BDSM play is so potent because
Right.
if you have a good practitioner, not an abuser, you have
Right.
a good practitioner, they can hold space for the most intense of emotions. They can hold space for the most
Right.
intense journeys, the deepest explorations of fear, desire, longing, and all the things, and come out
Yeah.
outside safely. And so that's what a good dominant partner does is lead and hold space. So the dominant sets the agenda, the submissive player sets the tone.
Right.
And so my job as the dominant is to ascertain from the submissive player, the person in the submissive role. So I'm
Right.
not submissive. I'm playing from the submissive role. I'm not
Yeah.
dominant. I play from the dominant role. So the
Right.
roles have structure and they have responsibilities. The dominant's
Right.
responsibilities and roles are this, and the submissive player's responsibilities are these,
Good.
we agree what's going on here. So
Yeah.
basically, I love to cry. Okay,
Mhm.
how can we get crying?
Yeah.
And I learn from them what they like to cry, and then we go have the scene. And I have learned through until they safe word, I must not be frightened by their emotional outburst.
Yeah.
I must not be put off by their emotional display.
Yeah.
That's why I don't personally like playing with gags. I want you to be able to say red
Right.
without muffling. And
Yes.
but until then, I will hurt you
Right.
I will push you through the difficult, scary parts as deep as you want to go until you say
Yeah.
red, and then we'll pull back. I
Right.
don't care. I don't care how deep you want to go. I'm here to help you
Yeah.
deep deep as you can today
Right.
in the direction you say you want to go deeply into. In direction, that's bad math, bad English. So
That's
my job is to
fine.
steer the
Yeah.
submissive player down a road they want to be on,
Right.
but need help going further than they could on their own. That's my job
Yeah.
as a dominant. So I don't dominate because you're a worthless worm. We can play the worthless worm game, but if you're worthless, why would I waste
Exactly.
my time with you? So the
Right. Hello.
worthless worm game doesn't quite resonate with me, although it does with
Yeah.
other dominants, which is fine.
Which is fine. Yeah.
I prefer submissive who goes, I want to go to this place. I can't go there alone.
Yeah.
need you to ride my ass until I get
Right.
there. Like,
Exactly.
okay. I will not be put off by the intensity of yourself.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I trust you enough to be able to safe word, and then because I can always call it. I mean, if I'm uncomfortable, I get to call it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a service top that way. I am a participant. I'm an equal participant, and so I'm not going to damage you or injure you. I'll hurt you, but
Right. Yeah.
I will not harm you.
Right. Yeah.
I will hurt you, but I will not harm you.
Right.
I will. It's intense, but um, I'm not going to damage you.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm not a sadist.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm here to help. I'm here to help.
Yeah. I'm here to
So
help. Yeah.
we live in our bodies. Most of our emotions get trapped in our bodies because of
Right.
the way we were raised, and women get one set of rules about why they can't have their feelings, and men
Exactly.
get a different set of rules about why they can't have their feelings, and then we're told to go off and find each other and make friends and make babies. Yay!
Yeah. Yeah.
So my interest and my job is to help people back into their bodies enough they can at least be nice to them and see them as friends.
Yeah.
Most
That's so
people
beautiful.
they don't like their bodies very much, and they are at war with them, and they treat them poorly because that's what they were taught and all the things. So pleasure and sex and agency and autonomy are here
Yeah.
for me. I'm here to help you get to where you need to be.
Yeah.
I don't, if it's ethical and sanitary, I don't care where that is. I don't care
Right.
what it looks like. I don't, if it's ethical, which means consensual and all the things, and if it's sanitary because I'm a nurse, it's like I'm not going to help you do unsanitary things because
Right. Right.
my ick is not hard. My ick is difficult to trigger, but
hmm
when it is, it's final.
It's a hard line. Yeah.
That's like the hard line. So and truly, my philosophy is if it's sanitary and ethical, any issues I have with it are my shit.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It clearly works for you. I will go as far as I can, and then if I can't, I'll either say you're on your own, or I'll help you find someone who'll go further with you.
Yeah.
But it's not for me to have an opinion. Not for me to have judgment about what works for you, as long as I personally am convinced that it is sanitary and ethical
Yeah.
way. And that makes me really unusual because my agenda is to help you back into your body so you can live in it nicely and treat yourself well.
Yeah.
Without being a doormat or an asshole,
Right.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's going to look different to everybody because everybody's different.
Far out, man. Yeah. So yeah, a couple of things came to mind. First of all, my dad, introduced me to the work of, Reich, and actually, Burroughs was big into, organs and stuff like that
Oh,
as
I didn't
well.
know that. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he even he well, there's a great quote from him. He said, you know, you know, went into the went into the Oregon box, came right off. Yeah,
My parents had Oregon concentrator. It wasn't a whole box, but it was a
and,
concentrator.
and have you ever heard the band Hawkwind? They had like
Yeah.
Lemmy from Motorhead in it, and this very influential band. That Peter Hook, from uh, Joy Division and New Order. You said that Hawkwind was like the shit, right? They did a song called Orgone Accumulator, so you can look that up on YouTube. It's like, got an Orgone accumulator and it makes you feel greater. Um, I'll see you sometime later when I'm done with my accumulator. And my we're not really friends anymore, but Thomas Roche, um, uh, he got me on board with Good Vibes, and so he wanted me to write something about organs and Reich, and so I got into Good Vibrations, that way. So I got to see him published alongside Carol Queen and Susie
I know.
Wright.
Oh, I love Carol Queen. I'm
That's
such a fan. I'm such a
so
fan.
badass,
She's a
right? Yeah,
badass. She's the
yeah.
baddest of badasses. I love her.
Shout out to Carol Queen, and
Yeah.
yeah, so my heart. So, and I've also interviewed Maria Beatty. And actually, she's one of the first people that I had really, really interesting conversations about kink, with because, as you know, she's a fetish filmmaker, and she compares it to psychotherapy, right? And so there's a lot of things about play that are really, I think, even people in the scene who get into it because they think it's cool and they don't really understand that it's not I mean, well, the see, this is the thing about talking about pleasure is really like having an articulable um structure and language and rules that aren't that that incorporate ethics is so important. I think, see, I had a long distance relationship with this woman who has actually wrote these BDSM erotica novels, aka Violet Heart. And so I thought, oh, cool. She knows about this stuff. She's interviewed Doms, and I said, hey, you know what? I'll send her Master Slave. Big, big, big mistake. So for those that haven't seen
Mhm.
it, this came out from Penguin Random House.
Mhm.
It's literally switch. You turn it over. It's it's beautiful, man. It's got Midori in it. It's got Patrick Califia. Anyway, so I thought, cool. Well, she'll understand. M. Christian, Cecilia Tan, Carol Queen, Thomas Roche, Allison Tyler. It's a great book. So I thought, well, she'll dig it, right? She was like fucking horrified. She's like, "You want to do this to me? You want to?" And she was terrified that I was gonna like hurt her. And I said, you know, it's the people. First of all, it's fiction. Second of all, it's a fantasy. You know, I've known Patrick Califia for years. Man, he's one of the kindest people. Is a
Most ethical person. Yeah.
total sweetie pie. And so maybe you should like learn a little bit. I'm not saying that you're ignorant, but you should really, really, fostering these myths about the dangerous myths about, lifestyle is one of the reasons why. And, like you ever watch these shows that are sort of like, I don't know, if everything from Law and Order to these, documentaries, and they always have like the law enforcement like, well, they were participating in their BDSM
I,
lifestyle,
yeah. Yeah.
and it's like, it's always very, what's the word? It's demonized. It's like demonized because
It's
you know
demonized or it's laughed at. It's
it's
sneered.
laughed at. It's
Yeah.
either and then it's you got the same people. So like it's well known that the biggest consumers of like trans porn are in red states when they can accurately show who's jerking off to some tranny porn. It's just, I mean, it's gonna be great. So you as a retired from the adult film industry, so
I'm not retired
or
actually,
you're
but
or you're not retired. Okay,
yeah.
so that was false information. So
I,
still,
I did take a big break. COVID put a stop. Did some scenes last month.
oh,
So
nice,
yes,
nice.
yeah.
So your current stuff. So I'm catching
I'm gonna be leaning. I'm
I'm
leaning more into the kink.
oh, nice.
I'm probably not gonna fuck on camera anymore because
Right.
I've done over 1,000 boy girl
Yeah,
scenes. We're good.
right.
I've given it the
So
office. I've proven, but I'm still interested in all the other things.
that's
So
great. This
oral
is
oral manual kink, helping
this is
him fuck her, that kind of thing.
That's very, very exciting.
It
And
is
so,
for me.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
okay, so very, very fucking cool. So also I wanted to ask you about it's like one of, I checked out, some of your content. This is not really a word I like because I think it reduces everything to sort of like anyway, it is what it is. It's a word. And but you did a video about how to have a good time at a swinger party. Could you talk about that a little bit? Sorry, I just picked my nose on camera. It's just
The most important thing to remember a swing party
yeah,
is that it's especially important for civilian women to know,
yeah,
no one may touch you without your express permission or invitation. So at a swing party, people talk about sex. You can't be insulted if someone's asking you to be sexual with them. And
right,
they can't be insulted when you say thank you, no thank you, or we're
right,
new here, or we're not sure yet, or we're soft swingers, or no. So that's the primary thing. Nobody may touch you without your permission. It's not a free for all. It is not even in the orgy room. It's still not a free for all.
right,
And I think a lot of people, because they think that any kind of sexually open environment means complete permission and no boundaries and no negotiation and no safety and no rules and no limits. It's like that is your fear being projected. There's actually a
yeah,
lot of rules and a lot of boundaries and a lot of limits. And the most important limit is
right,
at a swing party, nobody may touch you without express invitation or permission.
right,
No is a complete sentence. If they keep asking, they're the assholes. You're not too sensitive. There's
right,
always going to be a care couple there. If you are feeling uncomfortable, you can also leave,
right,
or you can go to the care couple and go, "Hey, so I'm new
yeah,
here. This is going down. I handle it this way. Was that the right thing to do?" And you're going to get, your safety is your first priority and their first priority. It's there to create a safe environment for people to get their jollies.
right,
So that's the whole thing. Many monogamous couples go to swing parties to flirt, to show off, and to watch, and they will have sex on a bed, but nobody can touch them. So it is a very, unlike a bar or a club or a concert where people are drunk and then take all kinds of terrible risks and do all
yeah,
kinds of terrible things because in an unsecured environment, drunken civilians around sexy people are a bad mix because we're so repressed. You get drunk and all the demons come out
yeah,
to play. At a swing party, very little drunkenness outside of Florida, very little drunkenness and inebriation because we agree we're here for the sex. We don't have to pretend we're not here for the sex. We're
right,
here for the sex.
right,
And
right,
men tend not to drink or do drugs because they want to be able to perform. They
right.
don't want it. They don't want it. You don't go to a swing party and then give yourself whiskey dick. That's foolish,
I,
right?
I need to write I need to write a story or a book called Whiskey Dick
Right, exactly.
because Whiskey Dick, right?
Right. So we need to say goodbye soon.
Okay,
I
that's
do
cool.
want
That's
to, yeah.
great.
We can do this again sometime. So if people want to consult with me and talk to me in a safe for work
Right.
environment, they can book a session at nina.live. That is my safe for work site, and I'm there for you can book a 15-minute consultation, an hour, just talking private, just me and you. And for XXX stuff, you can go to Nina.com. I have a video store there, and I am online 20 hours a week just to come and hang out at Nina.com and talk to me about anything, and that's where I do private shows without clothes.
Nice, nice.
And so I'm looking forward to seeing anybody here to come catch me at Nina.live or Nina.com.
So
You can
cool.
follow me on Instagram at Miss underscore Nina underscore Hartley. And on X, I'm Nina Land. I'll text these to you following this so that you can put those up when you post.
Oh, so cool. Thank you so much
Thank you so
for
much and have a great day.
you too, Nina. Take
Mwah.
care.
Bye.
Mwah.
We love
Bye-bye.
Carol.